Happy Halloween, and welcome to another episode of Mooney Makes. This month I participated in Inktober. It was the first time that I've ever done a challenge like this, and I've never drawn this much in 1 month before, which might be hard to believe. Lots of artists on YouTube create all the time and usually make multiple videos in a week. But for me, I've always had to work multiple jobs, I've always had lots to do, and I never had time, nor did I make time, to be fair, to do something like this. And this was so much fun and so frustrating that I have some pieces that I absolutely love, I have some pieces that I completely hate, and even a few pieces that people wanted to buy from me, which is great, makes me feel really good, but I never really thought that this challenge would do much other than get my juices flowing, get me ready for some other projects that I'm going to do, like starting the Art Snacks monthly box, like similar to what Casey Golden and Waffles do, but I'm going to kind of do what I want to do because it's my channel and this is for me, not you. All right, let's get started with Inktober. The first day was Ring. I played it insanely safe and did a literal wedding ring. I've seen many better interpretations of this, but the execution of my simple, not well thought out idea, I'm very pleased with. Short of like the shadows, didn't really know what I was doing. And maybe eventually I'll add like blood to the severed hand, but how ominous. It's a wedding ring that says forever and always. But then the hand is severed, and then you see till death. It's like, oh, someone fucked up. Day 2, Mindless. I had a lot of fun with this one because I've recently discovered a way I like to draw skeletons, which is just highly anatomically incorrect and ultra simplified and cutesy. But this process was really fun in that this character of sorts is looking for likes and follows and attention through the screen of their phone, but the longer they have the phone facing towards them, essentially they're dead. And they're forgetting about the life outside the phone. This one was a lot of fun and I was really proud of the idea. I have grown away from liking it as much, but it's still adorable and I do really like it. Day 3 is Bait. Let's YouTube cover that. But really, I don't care. I'm not looking to make money off these videos and don't know that I ever will. So I drew the Sirens song, which, if you can guess the song in the background, I'm sure nobody's gonna watch this video and know what it is, but it's "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine," which I thought was funny because they're out at sea, it's dark, it's dreary, she is horrifying, and she's calling you in, making you believe your love will save you or save her, and then she's gonna eat you. And that's her bait, is the song. Now, Day 4 was Freeze, and this one is probably the one I'm the most proud of because it's hilarious. My spouse helped me come up with this. I went with the abdominal snowman, and if you can't tell, he is modeled after Hulk Hogan, but he skips leg day, so, you know, not accurate, but hilarious. I love his little blue nipples and his pink nipple piercings, which are maybe hard to tell on camera, but this one was my kind of humor. Day 5, Build. I played it easy, and I made Bride of Frankenstein. But of course, I had to draw her naked, you know? I like the female form is beautiful, and I love to draw it. However, I do see anatomical issues that I could fix here, but I'm not going to. But this one was a lot of fun, and obviously I took a quote from Jessica Rabbit and built out this character. It's pretty simple, pretty easy on the eyes, and it's really cute. I love how her lips turned out. I never draw mouths like that, but that worked out really well. Moving on to Day 6, Husky. As a former furry, I really did think about drawing a Husky fursona. But I looked at my dogs and I thought, I'll just draw my pug. He's husky, he's chubby, and he thinks he is a thick boy. So I drew him, and he's very cute. It's very simple, it's very easy. I'm also not used to drawing animals as animals. I'm usually animal-human hybrids, but he turned out pretty cute. Moving right along, day 7 is Enchanted. I drew a king demon ghost thing. He's got a crown, so he knows he's the best. And this kid summoning him, because I know a lot of people would be doing magic or witches or princesses or kings and queens or referencing Disney movies, and I just wanted to keep it a little bit darker for October and have this kid who meddles in black magic and summons a demon. I like to think that they're best friends, but obviously that demon is mischievous and it's probably going to get that kid into a lot of trouble. Moving right along to day 8. This is the absolute worst day in this whole lineup. I was already behind. On day 7, I was already behind because this is who I am. And I just took a pen and sketched something without really even planning it out, without having vision. And I was particularly in a bad mood that day. And that's what I ended up with. So we're just going to move along because that's like painful. All right. This one is the most involved. Day 9, swing. I put a swing on a dead tree with a gravestone in the background, but a very beautiful sunset. And it's just the sun is setting on life, or it's set on somebody's life. And that is a box of sorrow or a box of darkness, but sometimes that can be a gift. It depends on how you want to look at it. It's one of my favorite poems. I believe it's by Mary Oliver. Correct me if I'm wrong. But for this piece, I really liked how the tree came out. It's definitely a lot of fun. And I did the background with a layer of Ohuhu markers, and then the stripes are with Copics. Poscas. Now, for pattern, day 10, this one, as soon as I post it, a friend of mine wanted to buy it. So I did sell this piece. As soon as this video is uploaded, I will be delivering it to the new owner. Day 10, pattern. I didn't want to do a complicated pattern, and I didn't want to do fabric or clothing like what other people were doing for this prompt. So I was like, stripes. What's stripey? Sandworm. And then I drew that sandworm, but it's in an infinity symbol because they are in the afterworld, and I don't think that they ever actually die. But it was a lot of fun. This is a mix of Copics, Poscas, and Sharpies. I think the lips are probably my favorite part. It was a lot of fun to do this one, and I'm really happy it's going to a home that's going to love it forever. Alright, and then for day 11, I kind of copped out a little bit on this one because I'd already done an abominable snowman for freeze. Snow, I almost did a snow globe. I almost did like a little kid bundled up, but I was watching Pulp Fiction and it doesn't make any sense, but it's the before and after where she's just smoking, and then after she snorts the not cocaine. So I know it's a stretch, but I do like how it came out as its own standalone piece. Maybe it doesn't make sense for the prompt. Now for day 12, dragon. I am not good at drawing dragons. They're not my forte, and when I do draw dragons, I only draw them with front arms because drawing back legs always makes them look like a horse, and or they have tiny little legs and fat hips, and it's fairly unsettling to look at, in my opinion. I haven't quite figured out a way to draw a dragon that I'm pleased with, but for this one I just made really long dragon, cute little horns, cute little eyes, and fading into different pastels. For this I used Ohuhu markers, but on this ELO sketchbook paper it's just not good. I don't know why I used the sketchbook, but I think I did because I wasn't going to use it for anything else. Alright, moving along to day 13, ash. I wanted to draw a burning church, but then I didn't want to get too political on this show, so I just did a house, and the moon is crying because the house is burning down, and there's someone inside who doesn't seem too concerned with getting out. And I just think that it's maybe pretty existential and sad. And from the ashes of this burnt house, a new one will be built. Alright, and then the next one is Overgrown, which I went with Chubby Girl, which I love her face. I'm absolutely in love with her face. And her legs and everything, and this just seems like a real person that I would meet in real life. And, you know, instead of saying she's fat or plus size, she's overgrown. She's just a full-grown, voluptuous woman who wants to feel herself and have a good day. Alright, moving along to day 15. This is probably one of the other biggest cop-outs of the month. I had a hard time. I did this while I was at my daughter's roller derby practice, and a bunch of the parents that were there that came and saw it thought it was hilarious, and that's what I'm gonna go with. It's supposed to be funny, not tragic. It's a fucking unicorn, but its face is horrifying, and I don't know why it has an eye or a vagina on its hip. I don't know. It's quite creepy, and I don't like it. But this is an example of why back legs always turn out bad. It's definitely something I need to work on. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. With day 16, Wild, I did a rose. Wild rose and bees. I did stick to like a more black and white traditional tattoo aesthetic, similar to what I did with the house. But this one, I've never really drawn a rose that well before. I'm pretty happy with it. We're gonna move on to Ornaments. I didn't like how Christmassy the idea of the word ornament is, so I kind of took it a different way and thought like, well, the definition of it is, I think, something like something beautiful that doesn't serve a purpose. It's just there for aesthetics. And then I was like, well, mohawk doesn't serve a purpose. It's just, look at me, I'm badass, I'll fucking kill you. So that's what I did, but then I made it a rainbow, and I put some like weird 80s or 90s circles and swishies, and yeah. So for day 18, I did Misfit, which could have easily been the mohawk as well, but I went with a skater of, yeah, her hair might be a little bit more effeminate, but it's either a child or a nondescript gender, and it's skate, don't hate, and she's farting. Skating is an excellent way to free your soul and have a good time and just feel alive. But I took it a different way, and like most people would think that roller skating or roller blading is like you're a misfit or you don't fit in. And another reason I picked a skater for this was because my kid's derby team is the Mob City Misfits. Again, arguably a stretch. Maybe you don't like my choices for these prompts, but I don't care. I make this for me, not you. I really love this piece. I didn't erase any of the sketching because I think it just added personality, and I really love how it turned out. Day 19, Sling. My first thought was to draw me as a kid when I broke my collarbone and I had to live in a sling for a while, but then I just saw too many people doing that. I saw a lot of sling shots, which, by God, they were awesome. But I decided to draw a silk dancer. Silk rope or silk whatever. I think the form is really nice and the flow of the legs. I think this leg is a little bit, like her thigh is a little short and her calf is a little long, but for the most part you don't notice it unless you look deeply at it. By the time I got to her face, I gave up. Obviously I put a mask on her because I just had a hard time drawing an upside down face, and yeah, I flipped the paper around and drew it that way, but whatever. I put a mask on her. I thought it fit with the stripes and the sad face, and it's like, turn that frown upside down, and she's literally upside down with a frowny face. And then I just got tired when I got to this hand, so she's an amputee. I have no idea how she gets up on that rope with one hand, but I'm sure somebody out there does it. Inclusivity, baby. Some people don't have faces, and a lot of people don't have hands. For tread, I just followed the bandwagon on this. It was really easy to do, like a tire tread and roadkill, but I didn't want to kill my animal, so I let the raccoon live. He just lost his tail, and he's flipping you off for driving so fast and not being conscious of the animals on the road. Love this piece. Moving on to Treasure, day 21. I know a lot of people drew like a pirate or jewels or something cool, but Children are treasures, yeah. I hear. I don't know. I have teenagers, didn't birth them, so I don't know. But I drew a mom, and she's not important because she doesn't have any facial features. It's the baby inside, which is a very large fetus. I didn't want to draw a baby. And she's wondering whether it's going to be a girl or a boy. But the fetus is like, I love you, Mom, but the complex nature of gender is too much for you to understand. Alright, for Ghost, I could have done a lot of things. I thought about just drawing my boob ghost from my other video last month, but I decided to go with the idea that people are haunted and that we are haunted by the bad things or the dumb things that we've done in our life. So I drew a demon reminding me of some embarrassing moment in my life and me just huddling over and going, ugh, fuck. If you want to take the time to read that, go ahead. It's also on my Instagram. It's a true story. I would not lie to you. Day 23, Ancient. I had a really hard time with this one because for some reason I just couldn't think of anything. And my friend over on Bugadoodles did a mummy. And I'm like, God, that's such a good idea. Why didn't I do that? No, I decided to do a joke panel. And I was going to do a Yo Mama joke because I feel like those are so old and nobody uses them anymore. But then I couldn't think of a good Yo Mama joke that wasn't, like, racist or, like, rude or body negative. So I just made a joke, and that's all I have to say. I don't like this one at all. Alright, for Dizzy, I again went with a skater, but this skater is a boy, or at least doesn't have breast or long hair, and they have fallen down and hit their head. They have a concussion. They are seeing stars. They are dizzy. As someone who has had many a concussion in Derby, because I was not skating properly, sometimes you do see stars. True facts. That one's pretty self-explanatory and not exciting. I am okay with this piece. So let's move on to day 25. I had just got done sketching a different picture. This is actually the second one that I did, which might be against the rules, but the first one is taped behind here, and I really wasn't happy with it. So I just went with, every time I read the word tasty, I thought about either food or someone who is a snack. Then I started thinking about that Eureka O'Hare song of big girls, like pretty hot and tasty, and that's what I ran with. So I did draw myself. I am a plus size person, and I drew the whole thing and was very pleased with how everything looked. But then I thought, I don't need to draw myself and reveal in cartoon form what I look like, so I put a ribbon around it. And I do like how the ribbon came out. I like how I came out. Day 26, Dark. This one was a lot of fun. Please ignore the anatomical errors on the kaiju, but that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe he's not as big as he should be to be a kaiju, but so this boy walking through the dark, and he thinks this leg is a tree. He doesn't notice the monster. Everything is a shade darker outside of the light than it is inside the light. It's pretty great. I really love how I drew this. I really love how I colored it. I love the face of the monster. I'm not totally sold on the back legs, but this is what I'm talking about with back legs. They are the bane of my existence. I didn't want to draw it, but it turned out okay. My teenage son thinks this is the best one of the month. I disagree, but he can have it when I'm done filming this. Alright, for day 27, played it safe. Made a really luxurious coat, and somebody inside the coat just really feeling themselves, showing it off to other people. These are supposed to be people in the background. I'm not good at drawing backgrounds, but I love this one. It's very cute. These little splotches are just leaked through from this, which is another reason I don't like this ELO sketchbook. If you get really heavy-handed with the ink, it will bleed through. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this. It's really cute. I love looking at it, but it's really not that inventive. Day 28 is Ride. I got this idea from Bugadoodles. I didn't know what to draw. I almost drew a motorcycle, but I thought this was funnier. So a snail on a turtle. saying slow down. They're going for a ride. The turtle doesn't know why he's screaming, but it's also a girl turtle, maybe, or just a boy turtle with amazing eyelashes, which is probably true. It's very cute. I love my stylized turtle. And that snail's pretty good. The yelling mouth turned out great. I don't know if those are accurate eyes for a snail, though. Whatever. Moving on to Injured. I just wanted to keep it simple. I think I was trying too hard in some of the other ones, and I was getting burnt out. So Injured, I couldn't decide between a broken heart or being backstabbed or having physical pain, so I just decided that pain is pain and all trauma is valid. And I drew 2 people, one literally being stabbed and one with a broken heart. You might want to argue that one is indeed worse than the other. However, in the moment, it's the end of the world for anybody, and trauma is trauma. Day 30, I was watching Casey Golden. If you kind of don't get that feel from this, that's fine. I didn't do the triangle nose because that's her thing, not mine. And I really think that this mermaid is probably one of the cutest mermaids I've ever drawn. It was very easy and simple. Also, if you can't tell, I'm horrible at hand lettering. The worst. And these are supposed to be waves. I kind of got lazy and just wanted to cover it up, but my wide Copic marker was starting to die. Anyways, she's a catch. She has a hook for an earring, and she is quite beautiful. I love it. This is another one of my favorites. Moving on, the last day. Now, this idea for the last day, I was cracking up. I wasn't sure if it was just me, but my friend was like, yeah, no, that's funny, you should do that. So, day 31 is Ripe. I drew a Ripe banana. He's goth banana, because he's brown and dark, and nobody likes him. And it's not a phase, Mom, it's who I am. Whatever you say, dear. And he's got an anarchy symbol and black hair and little spots, and I'm a genius. This is my masterpiece. I peaked too soon. And so that is what I did this month. I filmed the process of the first 12, and those will be available on my Patreon if you want to see the processes. But for the most part, this is what I did, and I love at least half of them. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this up and be done with October and move on to something else. I am not doing Qvember since this is the first challenge I've ever completed. I am not going to burn myself out doing another one. So I will see you in 2 weeks with a new video. Patreon will have the exclusive process videos, and if you want to see anything else, just like and subscribe below because I will be doing art snacks boxes in 2 weeks.